Hello. I have no idea what I'm about to share with you in this episode. I have just recorded this intro maybe 5 different times. And I know that if I overthink one more word, this episode will not air. And while I don't know exactly what's about to come through, I do know that I am meant to record and share where I'm at because I've been through this feeling enough, which is the feeling of overthinking, which is the feeling of fear, which is the feeling of lack of motivation and uncertainty of what's next and what I'm meant to do, and just all around confusion with a lot of things regarding life right now and my business and my career. I've been through this enough to know that this is normal. I've worked with enough women to know that these feelings are normal. And I'm just going to come at you from a very honest perspective of what I'm feeling, because I believe that we need to normalize this. I believe that, there's a time and a place to share from the other side and share, once you're past the messy middle, and share from the perspective of, hey, I was just in a funky season and it sucked. And here's how I came out the other side, and here's how I got through it. But when we don't share from the messy middle, it's not talked about. And then when people are in the messy middle, they think that they're going insane, right? Like, I remember the first time feeling how I feel right now and thinking that I've lost my mind or that something's wrong or and just like, it's not fun. But again, I've been here. I know that this is part of it. I think I know why these things happen. It's not fun. So let's talk about it. Welcome to All In with LAD, podcast for online business owners and entrepreneurs who are ready to create the life and business of their dreams. I'm so happy you're here. Okay, so I prayed before this episode that whatever is meant to come through comes through, and whoever is meant to hear this listens. So if you, for whatever reason, felt pulled to listen to this, there's probably a reason why. And I'm sorry for that. I'm sorry for that, because you probably know how I'm feeling right now. Maybe you're currently here. Maybe you were just here. Maybe you're about to be here and you've listened to this episode and you feel like less of a whack job because you listened to this episode before you gone through it. I don't know. Who knows? But here's where I'm at. I have no fucking clue what I'm doing. Straight up. Like, if I'm being the most brutally honest with you, that is where I am at. I am so discombobulated right now when it comes to my business and my brand and what I'm here to do, which is so insane because rewind maybe 2 months ago, and I was so steadfast and certain regarding what I'm meant to do on this planet and who I am and how I'm going to get there. That's probably a bit of a stretch, but certainly more certain and sure than I am now, times a million. Right now, I feel like I've been put through, I don't know, like thrown into a washing machine, like a universal washing machine. And I've bounced around and I've come out the other side. I'm not on the other side, but like somebody just pulled me out. And I don't know which way is up. I don't know which way is down. I'm just like, where am I? Who am I? What is this all for? I'm just in such a weird existential crisis point. And it's great. It's great. So before you get like overly concerned, like if you're a client of mine listening or you're a prospective client or something, I don't know. Like, I always overthink this because I'm like, God, what are my clients going to think when and by the way, my closest clients, my mastermind, they know, we talk about these things all the time. Let me back up a little bit. Let me get more clear. on where I'm feeling this mostly. I'm not feeling lost in a sense of like my overall mission as a business owner. I got that. It's more so the path of which I'm here to share my work, my art, my medicine. That's the part that's like, it's something isn't feeling right. It feels like a ton of resistance. Now, I have my podcast, which I love, but the podcast isn't the moneymaker right now. It's just not. And that's the part that we gotta address that. That's a problem. Because this is where many of you have found me. This is where many of you get support and motivation and encouragement and insights. And I love showing up here. It's the other part of my business, the coaching part, where it's like there's something there that needs to be switched. I love coaching, which is why I still continue to do it. I'm really good at it, which is why I enjoy it. And I think that's why I'm so good at it, because I enjoy it, right? It's this cycle that works really well. The part, if I were to pinpoint where I'm feeling probably the most resistance, is the social media aspect. Something about social media right now is feeling so grimy. And I mean, the best way that I can explain it is like this serious resistance in my body. Hence, like if you go look at my page, I haven't posted in a couple of weeks. I can't do it. I can't do it. And yes, there's a lot going on right now, right? Like as I record this, we are 4 days until the next presidential election. Thank God. I need this to be done. I am so over it. I cannot even explain it. And I know I'm not alone here, but the divisiveness, the opinions, the overall energy, it is dark. It is gross. It's seeping in fear, and everything in my body is like, get away. Like, I just want to be out of it. I just want to be off of it. It feels so disgusting and not where I want to be, right? It's almost as if, here's what it feels like. It feels as like, let's just like boil it down to Instagram. It feels as if Instagram was like a really cool club that I like to show up and like work and share and be in. And then all of a sudden, like the past 6 months or so, all of a sudden, like all of these new people have popped up in this club, and they are ragey and they're mean. And it just like sucked the life out of the club, you know? And it's like, I got to get out of this club. This is not, we're getting out of here, because it's only a matter of time before there's like shots are fired in this club and nobody is safe. You know, like it just feels like I'm not safe. I'm gonna leave. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. But this is a problem. This is a big problem, because as you know, this is my office. Instagram is my main office. Right? So while it's like a club that I like to hang out and be at, it's also where I've, in many instances, planted my roots, right? That's like where, if I had a brick and mortar, so to speak, it's where my proverbial brick and mortar is. So how do you run a business when you don't want to go into the business anymore? You know, when like your place of business has been overrun by a bunch of lunatics. That's where I'm at, right? And it's bringing up all of these additional issues for me, which is like, God, is this where I'm supposed to be? Is this what I'm supposed to be doing in the first place? Do I even, you know, like while it works, like if it works, it's cool. You know, when the vibes are right, it's cool. But is that even like what I'm meant to be doing anyway? I call it tap dancing on the internet when you're doing like the content creation to sell. It feels like tap dancing on the internet to me, where it's like you're kind of like doing a little jig for a couple bucks. And when I say couple bucks, it's a lot more than that, So it's like, okay, if jigging keeps the lights on and brings people into my world and I'm able to support people and it supports me, okay, I can do a little jig. But like, is that what I'm meant to be doing? The answer is no. I know that the answer is no. So what am I doing? That's where I'm at. Do you see how this is? And it's discombobulating because, again, this has been my main bee. This has been my main girl for a while. And now she's not. I think we're breaking up. I think me and Instagram are breaking up. I don't know. See what I'm saying? And this is why I was thinking, like, do I even come on and say this? Because I don't know. I don't want to be the one who says I'm breaking up with Instagram and then I'm back on Instagram, in a couple of months when, or in a couple of days where the election drama, and it's not just the election drama, it's a lot of different things. It's exhausting. But I know I'm not alone in how I'm feeling. I know for sure because, again, several of my clients are in a weird space with this too, a weird relationship, and several aren't, right? I've got clients who are in a great place with Instagram and how they're showing up and their role when it comes to marketing their business. Whether it's working for them or not, they're very clear on what they're doing and what they're meant to do, and that's they're in a really good place. They don't feel this resistance. I do. So it's like what I've learned from doing this for so long. I've been a business owner since 2016. I've been running this current business since 2018. And I've been through this enough to know that we're feeling the resistance for a reason. It's sending a message. And yes, you can ignore it and you can bulldoze it, which I tried to do, but eventually it just gets louder and louder. And what I've learned is if the message can't get through one way, it's going to come through another way, right? It starts as a whisper and then it gets a little bit louder and then it becomes into a full shout. And sometimes that shout isn't very pleasant. That can manifest as many different things. So what now? What do we do if you're resonating with this and you're feeling the same? Maybe it's related to Instagram like me. Maybe it's related to something else. Maybe it's related to the way that you're doing your business and the type of offers that you're putting out. It's like, okay, so what do we do? Because the next question that I asked myself is like, okay, I'm feeling resistant to, let's just say, how I'm marketing myself, or the way of which I market my business predominantly, which is Instagram. If I don't want to do that anymore, what are the other options? And the other options are, well, you could go to a different platform. That doesn't feel right. TikTok doesn't work with my brain chemistry. It's like meth to me. It's not good for me. Okay. Feels great in the moment. Not great long term. Okay. I could hand off my social media altogether. That's an option. I could just go full time with the podcast and, utilize email marketing and maybe, do some very intentional content creation as I feel inspired and have somebody else do it for me. That's an option. But then what comes up are the fears of, yeah, but what if it doesn't work? What if it doesn't work? And what I've learned is, while what if it doesn't work is an honest and an understandable question and a reasonable fear to have as a business owner, we need these things to work for our businesses to run. So it's a fair question. It's a fair fear. Fair fear. But to me, it's like, okay, you figure it out. Like we don't know exactly what will work, but what used to work isn't working anymore. So like, what do? Do you keep doing the same fucking tap dance when you're tired of doing it and the tap dance isn't working for you anymore anyway? Just because it used to be the thing that worked? No. The answer is fuck no. We pivot. We evolve. We move on. And the way that I picture this in my mind is like, I don't know, the club analogy was stupid. Let's think of this in like a different way. Okay, no. We're gonna go back. Let's go back to the club analogy. Okay, so let's say the club, the Instagram club, it's a room in a really big house. Let's look at it that way, right? So like I got really comfortable in this specific room in this specific house. And I was like, damn, this is nice. I like the energy in here. People like me in here. My tap dancing is working really well. People are really responding to it. Cool. I'm going to just post up here. I'm going to move in. I know there are other rooms. Fuck them other rooms. I like it in here. The temperature's just nice, I don't know about the other rooms. Don't care. Have no interest in them. Okay. Then, as we know, the room, like the temperature changed in the room. The people changed in the room. The jig isn't working anymore. So it's like, okay, this room is stifling me. It's slowly killing me. I'm about to jump out this window if I can't figure out how to get out of this room. Okay, so let's explore the other rooms. So we walk to a door, we open the door, and unfortunately, there is a room on the other side, but unfortunately, it is pitch black in that room. I can't see in that room. I'm feeling around, no light. It's pitch black. Shit. Okay. Well, how do I know if that's the room that I'm meant to walk in if it's pitch black? Well, how I've learned that it works is that you won't know until you start walking into the room a little bit more. And it's almost like with every step that you walk in the room, the room is a little bit more illuminated until you can get like a good feel for the room. That's almost what it's like, right? It's like, how do I know that this next strategy or this next thing that I want to go in this direction, but how do I know if it's going to work? You're not going to know if it's going to work. You just got to step in the damn room. And maybe that room leads you to the next room, right? Like maybe you get into the room, you're like, okay, this is okay, a little bit better. But wait, there's another door. Let me open the door. But you wouldn't even know there's another door had you not entered that first room in the first place, right? So it's like, we don't know if the next thing is going to work, but you only have two options. You either walk in the room or you don't walk in the room. You either try something new or you don't. You stay doing what you're doing and you feel all this resistance and you just lie down with it and you decide, you know what, it is what it is. And you can do that. You can do that, right? It's like being in that relationship that like he's not the one or she's not the one, but we're comfortable. We've got too much of our life tangled up with each other. So like, it is what it is. I'm not leaving. So I'm just going to, be miserable and try and distract myself with other things. That's an option. In relationships, it's a little bit harder to make that leap sometimes. But with our businesses, we don't have to do that. And that's why I wanted to come on here and record this. To one, normalize the feeling of what the hell and what's next. But to remind you and me that we're not married to the strategy. We can be very committed to our clients. We can be very committed to our work and our mission. And even those things get to change. But you can be very, very committed to what it is that you're doing, but not married to the core strategy or the mode of which you show up or the places that you show up, where like how you do things. That will always change. It will, because I really believe, over time you're growing and evolving. So some things you just simply grow out of. And that's what it almost feels like. It feels like, I don't know, it feels like as soon as I turned 37, there were so many things that shifted. And it's like, I can't do this dumb shit anymore. Like, I'm not going to be the Instagram trend girl. I'm just not, where you like hop on the latest trend for a few extra likes. There's nothing wrong with it. I will teach it. I understand it well. I know why it works, and I'm certainly not hating on it. It's just not for me. It's just not. And I'm not going to sit here and pretend that that's going to be my legacy. I don't know how else to say it. It's a fuck no for me. So, okay. Things get to change. And we don't know what that is. We don't know if it's going to work. But this is what it's all about, right? Like, we're meant to when we're not comfortable in something, or we're feeling resistance, we're meant to move, right? If you're sitting in a place too long and your legs start getting crampy, get up, stretch around, walk around the room, go into another room till you figure it out. That is what this is all about. So anyway, I don't know. Oh my God. I don't even know if I'm going to post this. This is like, so anyway, I want to reiterate. I love this work. I am so in love with the women that I get to work with, the fact that I get to teach what I teach and talk about these things and indulge in these annoying seasons with you. And then share, because I know there's going to be an episode in a few weeks, hopefully sooner, where I'm like, hey, remember when I was bitching and moaning a few weeks ago? This is what, we're going to come out the other side of this. If you're resonating with this, you're going to come out the other side of this. Of course you will. So that's not in question for me. It's just something about the way of which that I've gotten very comfortable in doing it's just not vibing anymore. And everything in my body is like, just stop. And that's a scary place to be. It really, really is. It really, really is. When you start getting momentum and, you're earning a certain amount of money and that's what and that's what you're comfortable with. And then all of a sudden it's just not working. It's not fun. But maybe it could be, maybe. And that's, I guess, the other thing I'll share is as somebody who has been here before, I've been in these situations where whoa, I mean, I could give you several examples, but, the biggest example for me that's coming to mind is back in 2021, when I was teaching predominantly social media type practices. It all comes back to social media. It's kind of weird. But social media type practices, I was that all of my masterminds and my courses, it was all around how to build engagement and how to grow your following and how to do this and that. And I had an app called Profitable Prospecting. And it was just social media centric. But what was really firing me up was energy stuff, but I hadn't come out of the energy closet yet, right? I didn't feel comfortable because I was worried that people would judge me and think that I was a witch or a gremlin or the devil. I don't know, I was so worried to talk about the things I really wanted to talk about. And then, and I felt it was this buildup of resistance. And finally I was I can't do this anymore. I can't be the social media girl. That's just not I won't do it. This is what I'm actually interested in. And I just broke the seal and I was whatever, think what you want. But I want to talk about human design and I want to talk about the frequency and the power of our minds and how we can show up and we can do both. We can be strategic and energetic. And when I had the courage to do that, everything shifted. And then like and I started putting out offers that were more aligned with that. And my podcast started shifting to that. And I went from the 6-figure influencer. That was the first name of this podcast. The OGs will remember. 6-figure influencer to All In With Allie, you know, and like everything. It was just like, it was like that band. It was almost like I was trying to run in a direction, but I had this rubber band holding me back. It was resistance because I kept trying to like, yeah, that's what it is. It was like I was trying to run in one direction or go in one direction because that's what I was used to. But I had this resistant rubber band on my chest and I could barely move anymore. I was like, why isn't this working? Why isn't this fun anymore? And then finally I was like, because I don't want to go in this direction. And it was almost as if like I cut the rubber band and I slingshot in the other direction. That's what that was like. And that led me to my biggest breakthroughs, my biggest years in business, my highest levels of revenue, working with the women that I'm working with now. You know, like it led me to everything good, but it took me facing that resistance head on and saying, what the fuck? This isn't working anymore. I'm out. And allowing myself to let go. And I guess this is me finally, I'm not fighting it anymore. I'm just letting go and I'm saying, well, I guess I'm a free fall for a minute because going that way is a bitch and I like it. And I apologize for all the profanity, but I just have to be so candid and real right now. And this is just where I'm at. And this is just who I am. So like if profanity isn't your thing, you probably aren't listening to this anyway, because you probably picked up by now that I am profane. Yay, life. But isn't it fun? We signed up for this. Right? Like we became entrepreneurs to be able to be fluid in this way, to be able to grow and evolve as humans, which means like if you're growing and evolving as a human, which everybody's doing, whether you're an entrepreneur or not, but as an entrepreneur, we have the added luxury of being able to take our business and our career with us. Not everybody gets to do that. You know, so it's like, why have this luxury if you're not going to use it? Why be an entrepreneur if you're not going to allow yourself to ebb and flow and shift and bob and weave? When, you know, every ounce of the universe is sending you signals, you're going the wrong way. Yes, it used to be the right way. Now it's not. I'm going to put all this traffic on your path. I'm going to put all of these wrecks on your path. You can keep trying to navigate it and do this stop and go bullshit, or you could just take a sharp right. Take a sharp right. I'm now figuring out what my sharp right is. What's the sharp right? And you get to figure out yours. You know? Like if what you're doing isn't working and it doesn't feel good in your body, and there's a difference. There's a difference. There's a difference in, I know for sure I'm meant to be on this path without a shadow of doubt in my mind, at least for now. I know that I'm in the right place at the right time. Results aren't resulting yet, or maybe they are, but it's not quite at the level that I know that they will be. Maybe you haven't quite figured it out, but your soul is sending you the message and you just feel in your body, I am where I am meant to be. This is just a long game, right? There's a difference in like the long game and not quite making it to the destination yet, but you know you're on the right path. There's a difference between that and I know where I'm going or where I want to go. I have an idea of where I want to go. But this way that I'm on ain't it. Maybe it's not working or maybe it is. And I think that is where people get really tripped up, is where like they feel the resistance, but the results are still resulting. That is really, really hard. I've been there too. But I think eventually, Like if we were to get really spiritual about it and we're thinking of like our highest good and highest good for all, I think at some point, like if you don't honor that resistance and pay attention to that, the results eventually stop resulting, because that's the only way that spirit or, the higher power can like get through your mind to move. Like if you're really meant to move, if your destiny is to go down a certain path or whatever, I think that can happen. So anyway, there's just a difference between the two. There's a difference in like long game, but you're on the right track, and long game and you're on the wrong track. There's a difference. I'm long game always. I'm all in always. But the road that I'm on needs to change. And I wish with every fiber in my being that I knew what the next sentence is or what that looks like, but I just don't. And it is what it is. And instead of being fearful about it and losing my fucking mind, which I've been doing for the past couple weeks, I've certainly been in my feels about it. I've certainly been resisting even that idea for sure. And now I'm just at the place where I'm like, well, this is what I signed up for. So how can I ride this wave and make it at least more enjoyable? How can I have more fun in this weird in between? Because we have that choice. We can either resist even the resistance or resist the pivot and white knuckle it and kick and scream and be miserable the whole time, or we can say, wee, I don't know where I'm going, but I'm going somewhere. I'm not leaving, but we're going somewhere. So all that to say, if you resonate, you're not alone. It's all good. You're going to come out the other side. I'm going to come out the other side. It's going to be great. I'm not going anywhere. This podcast isn't going anywhere. This certainly isn't me saying I'm quitting or that I don't love my work. I'm obsessed with my work. It's the marketing angle that needs to be. There's something there. And I love you. So you know what? Hopefully this makes it to air and I don't freak out. If this is helpful, let me know. If it wasn't, please don't leave me a bad review. Okay. I'm just humaning right now. Let me be a human. We're all humans. I love you. Bye.